I'm a big fan of General Patton, and I named this segment General Patton Says. Every good leader is a good actor. And I think you'll get some clarification on that listening to Colonel White talk about what that means. It doesn't mean that you are to be fake. It doesn't mean that you are to manipulate anybody or deceive anybody. What it means is that the way you act is contagious. And when you're dealing with serious situations where people's lives are on the line or livelihoods, you have to make sure that you set the tone and that you're positive about the approach, no matter what the situation is. I think you're really going to enjoy listening to Colonel White talk about the times when he had to stay positive, even though he knew the deck was stacked against them.
Let me ask you this. So how did you, when you're leading these men, you go in and it's just chaos and resources are sort of, you don't know what you have. You might have this, you might not have that. Bathing becomes sort of an afterthought. And these guys, I'm thinking they have to be scared, right? Like, I'm going to die. How do I get out of this? Blah, blah. And they look to you as the leader and to hang on to something, right? Like, how do you know, God, I don't know what I'm doing. I got to take care of these men. I have limited resources. This thing is hot. And how do you right yourself so that you can give those men something to cling to?
Well, I'll quote George Patton, General George Patton. A leader has to be a good actor. When everything is falling apart, those men, those people underneath, they're going to look at you. How is he going to react? You got to be cool and calm under pressure. You got to be like a duck. A duck is smooth on the water and his feet are paddling like everything underneath. Your mind, what you're thinking, what you got to be doing has got to be like that duck's feet underwater. But your outward appearance has got to be cool. Let me give you an example. We'd be in contact meaning we're fighting. You got to make radio calls to your commander, tell him what's going on. And we would concentrate on I'll just use the call signs we use. Charlie 6 is Charlie 3-6. We're into contact. We have, just like we're talking about Braves baseball. Calm, cool. If your voice inflection went up, those things, people responded to that. So, I've heard guys, sir, I've taken a round I've been hitting the right arm, and it's like he's talking about, I cut the grass last night, An actor, a leader has got to be an actor. That doesn't mean being false. That just, you're doing it for others. They're looking at you. How are you going to react? How are you going to, because it is so contagious. The leader's response is contagious. If you're, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Your thing's going to fall apart. If you're cool, calm, directive, secure in your own being, they're going to pick up on that. It's contagious. In that battle, this is the 26th of February, 1968, was a huge battle that we were in, and we lost. We walked into a 3 machine gun ambush in just a matter of seconds. Had a lot of Americans dead and wounded, and my company commander, I had to go in and pull those guys out, myself and I. And machine gun fire was so close to the ground. You couldn't get low enough to the ground crawling up, and we'd go up and find a guy that was dying or dead, and pull him on our back. And so now, your weight and his weight is about the same as your weight, and you can't even get up on your knees to crawl, so you're clawing your way through the jungle floor till you get down to a place and get them evacuated. During that battle, the reconnaissance platoon leader was with us, and he was wounded in the chest, and so there's only one reconnaissance platoon in a battalion. So I was made reconnaissance platoon leader. So the rest of my Vietnam tour, that first tour, I was the reconnaissance platoon leader.